Hi, my name is Mike Smith. In 1988, my wife Joan and I founded California Pools and Landscape. The purpose of this video is to let you know how long it takes to build a pool today. By the end of the video, you'll know that, and I'm going to give you 5 really important tips on how to reduce the amount of time it takes. As you can probably imagine, in 30 plus years of business building pools, we've been asked a lot of questions about pools. But by far, the 2 most commonly asked questions are how much is it going to cost and how long will it take? Unfortunately, the answer to either of those questions is it depends. So 30 years ago, when someone asked how long a pool would take, the answer, of course, was it depends. But it depended on the same things then that it does now. What is the scope of work? How long is the permit going to take? How many changes is the homeowner going to need? And the actual time of construction. We've kept this scheduling form that we used 30 years ago that tracked construction from start to finish. This was our first 25 pools. I have unbelievable gratitude for every client, but particularly those first 25. The average time on this board was about 3 weeks. Today, we never finish a pool in 3 weeks, but we average 6 to 8 weeks, which is an amazing timeline. We dedicate ourselves to building as quickly as we possibly can. But again, keep in mind, that's completed excavation to completion of the pool, which means water in the pool. A general guideline though, because there's such a vast difference in scope of work, is to give yourself about a week for every $10,000 worth of work. So a $40,000 pool, we can build it in 4 weeks with minimal changes, great plan, and we roll right through it. An $80,000 pool, more like 8 weeks, and of course, a $120,000 pool can have a 3-month construction time. Here it comes, 5 steps that we don't often talk about that will greatly impact the overall time. But let's call the first step, get your design. That involves interviewing pool companies and designers and working with them to get on paper what your design is. It also involves analyzing the price. We find that the average time it takes to do that properly is about 3 weeks. The next step is to decide how you're going to pay for the pool. The most common is a second mortgage that has a pool payment. It's also somewhat common to wrap it with a refinance or a first mortgage, and the money then comes from a single mortgage. And then also a large amount of people are able to pay cash. This process typically takes 2 to 3 weeks, but the good news is it can be done at the same time as you're planning the pool. The next step is for the pool company you've chosen. There's a need to convert the design plan into a construction drawing that can be followed by the trades in the field and that can be approved by the city during the permit process. It's impossible to know exactly how long a permit will take. We average 2 to 4 weeks. Many permits, though, can take 8 weeks and even 12 weeks these days. The next step is when construction actually begins. A pool is excavated, then there's plumbing, steel, electric, and a stage called shotcrete where concrete is blown in and you'll see the shape of your pool. This, we average about 2 weeks getting a pool from dig to shotcrete. It's a very important stage as it's the foundation of your pool. The next and final stage is bringing the pool from shotcrete to water in the pool all complete. There's a world of different directions this can go. There could be masonry, there could be travertine type deck, there could be poured deck, there's certainly tile and interior finish and potentially many other phases. So there's a wide variance in time. We average 3 to 4 weeks shotcrete to water in the pool. I'm a guy that likes to deliver good information, and I hate the answer, it depends. But there's some questions that's just the answer, it depends. The only thing I hate worse than giving that answer is getting that answer. So I hope this video has helped in changing it depends to some guidelines that'll be useful to you on actually knowing how long it will take. I committed to giving you 5 tips to speed the process. Tip number 1, most important, and we hope it's us, but let your gut decide who the best designer and the best pool company is by how they treat you in the sales and design process. Pay attention to the person who sits in front of you designing the pool. Do the research necessary to know the company that backs him. I believe your gut is going to lead you to the right decision here, because the person who's comfortable to work with, that sounds and acts like he's interested in you, is going to guide you through this process with a minimum of irritation, and a minimum of irritation means fast. Tip 2 is that money thing. Arranging your financing up front is very important. It also has a little to do with tip 1, because if you've selected the right pool company and you know in your heart you have, and you've checked their referrals and you know who they are and can trust them, you also will make your progressive payments on time, and that will speed the pool greatly. Tip number 3 to make your pool quicker is make a minimum of changes. I know that's hard. We get excited and all of a sudden we think, oh, did I make the right decision? Should I add a little here? Should I take away a little there? If you've done the job right in the first place, you've planned well. I find that often your first instinct was the right one, and there's no reason to spend more money and delay the pool remaking decisions that you've already made well. My next tip is to colorize early. Selecting tile, deck, and stone is a lot of fun, but if you remake that decision over and over again, it will delay the pool. We live in a supply as needed world. There's a great ability to ship products from all over the world and have them on time, but getting them in from all over the world and then having them change is not an economical use of time. My last tip is really important. Have fun. This process will seem like a year if you're not having a good time. If you're having fun, it'll pass quickly and you'll be out enjoying that pool. My grandkids are going to laugh at me on this part because they know all about YouTube and Grandpa doesn't. But I understand we have a YouTube channel, and I understand you can subscribe to it, and then you'll get videos like this one that might be helpful to you. We sure hope they help you. There's one below, I guess, that you can click on that'll tell you how we can do our design process 100% online without having to meet face-to-face. If you prefer face-to-face, we come out and do it. But there's YouTubes about all of this stuff and more to come. So subscribe to the YouTube channel and tell my grandkids, Grandpa knows what he's talking about.